Good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Carmelo Lattuca in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Lots to talk about. We're seeing severe thunderstorms occur right now, currently as of 7:30 p.m. out into the west and western Nebraska, primarily in and around the Panhandle. And then we'll be watching out for the potential for severe weather in the capital city as we get into Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and into the overnight hours, potentially into early Monday morning. So let's take a look at everything. We're going to start off first with, though, our Lincoln Weather Almanac. Let's get that loaded up here. It was a hot day out there today. We saw temperatures climb up into the low 90s, right around 92 degrees. I'll get that punched up here. Here we are. High temperature today, 92 degrees in the capital city. Low temperature, 71 degrees. Both of those numbers about 5 to 6 degrees above average. Not close to the record high temperature of 103 degrees today. That's set back in 1901. Low temperature record, 52 degrees, set back in 1985. We're going to take a look at the precipitation almanac here. And today's record, 1.99. Didn't see any observed rainfall, unfortunately, here in the capital city. For the month as a whole, 2.76 inches with only a couple days left to go. So it does look like we're going to run below average for the month of June, most likely at this point. 1.47 inches below average currently, and we're still over 6 inches below average for the year. As of today, we should have been closer to 15 inches of precipitation. We haven't even seen 9 inches of precipitation. So one of the driest years to date, at least I believe now in the top 20 to top 25, maybe the top 30 at this point. But temperature-wise, this morning, low we're in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. 59 degrees in North Platte, 65 in Sydney, 68 in Scottsbluff, 71 degrees here in the capital city, 72 degrees in Omaha. As we take a look out of our Skyview cams, a lot of sunshine in O'Neill, Lincoln, and Omaha. A little bit more cloud cover out towards North Platte, and that's where we see our showers and thunderstorms in western Nebraska. We'll take more of a closer look at that in just a few minutes or so. But for our Lincoln currents, it's 89 degrees at the studio, 89 at the airport. Still feels like it's 94 degrees thanks to that dew point right around 70, so very humid out there. Winds out of the south also at 18 miles per hour. Temperatures across town, what I'm seeing across the map, range anywhere from around 87 to 90, 91 degrees, so still very warm out there. Temperatures across the state, though, they kind of vary dramatically. As you look out towards the west, you see how the color contour changes from red out towards McCook and North Platte and Valentine, right around 91 to 93 degrees. You're starting to see that yellow just to the east and southeast of Alliance and south and southwest of Thedford. That's where we're seeing showers and thunderstorms. Not really seeing that effect on our observed stations on the map, those cooler temperatures, but the farther east those storms move, the cooler our temperatures will drop. Humidity-wise, though, it is very humid across the majority of the state. In central and eastern Nebraska, we're talking low to mid-70s, so a lot of moisture to work with for these thunderstorms. We're in the mid-60s out to the west, 30s, 40s, and 50s all the way on the Panhandle, so certainly drier out there, but it does feel like it's in the mid to upper 90s, still close to 100 degrees. I think our highest feel-like temperature right now in Kearney at 98 degrees, also feels like 98 in York. Wind speed and direction, somewhat breezy out there right now, 10 to 20 miles per hour out of the south and southeast. Wind gusts, not too bad, certainly have dropped down from earlier, right around 18 to 24 miles per hour. 1 second here. Sorry, I just wanted to check something. But for satellite and radar, we are seeing severe thunderstorms across the map. Do want to take a little bit of a closer look. We're going to zoom in on some of these storms. We have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings as of right now. Let's see if we can find out what the hazards are across each of these storms. Here we are. Let's see. Take a little bit of a closer look once again. Okay. For the severe thunderstorm warning off to the south and east, that is for Dual, Keith, and Perkins County. We're seeing hail size up to quarter sizes and wind speeds up to 60 miles per hour. That is observed. I believe it is the quarter-sized hail that is being observed at this point. And then for the satellite and radar, take a look at the severe thunderstorm warnings off to the north and northwest of that severe thunderstorm. Looks like 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-sized hail. These are radar-indicated off into the Panhandle and far southwestern Nebraska. Just want to take a look at this farther southwest warning. That looks to be the case as well. So most of these hazards are being indicated by radar at this time, but this severe thunderstorm off to the south and southeast in Dual, Keith, and Perkins County, that is until 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time or 8 p.m. Central Time. So it's going to continue for another half hour or so. Has seen observed quarter-sized hail. I do think damaging winds are the main threat as we go into this evening and into the overnight hours, but certainly some large hail still possible. Tornado threat, not too worried about. I want to take off the query here showing the warnings because I do want to talk about the red circulated area. That is a 40% chance, according to the Storm Prediction Center, of a watch being issued. The longevity of some of these storms, not really certain at this time. So although we're seeing 3 to 4 severe thunderstorm warnings, it's not a guarantee that we will see a severe thunderstorm watch. Regardless, severe thunderstorms are possible, at least for the next 2 to 3 hours, if not a little bit longer. As we take a look across the region, we have severe thunderstorm warnings going from western South Dakota into eastern South Dakota, western Minnesota, and into North Dakota as well. Tornado warnings off to our northeast of the viewing area, not in the state of Nebraska at this time. And a little bit more of a look at the national picture. We have ongoing showers and thunderstorms off to our southeast, but severe weather today located mainly across the heartland and into the central and northern plains. Now for our weather alerts, as we take a little bit of a closer look, we have severe thunderstorm watches in western South Dakota, eastern North Dakota, western Minnesota, tornado watches in eastern South Dakota and western and central Minnesota, but no severe thunderstorm, no tornado watches here in the state of Nebraska. Storm Prediction Center outlook does have a marginal to slight risk for isolated to scattered severe thunderstorms, mainly across western and northern Nebraska. Notice that Lincoln is not in the risk for severe weather Saturday night into Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon and into Sunday evening, potentially into Sunday morning as well, we have isolated to scattered severe thunderstorms that are possible across the entire state. We have a severe weather risk, the greatest risk, though, in eastern and southeastern Nebraska. No risk for severe weather on Monday, but I want to talk a little bit more about this weather alert day. Scattered severe storms possible Sunday. Showers and storms themselves are likely. We could see some in the morning. They're more likely in the afternoon and evening, some of which, though, at any time could be severe. Again, the greatest risk later in the day. Damaging winds are the main concern. Large hail is possible as well, not as big of a concern. And tornadoes are not likely at this point. Very, very small chance we could see a tornado. I really think winds are going to be the main concern out of this system. Again, storms are possible in the morning. More likely, though, later into the day. High temperature on Sunday, 94 degrees. It will be humid, so plenty of moisture to work with. We're going to take a look now at 2 different skycast models showing the potential evolution of what happens tonight and into tomorrow. Wildly different scenarios. Depending on what scenario occurs, that is going to determine what we see as we get into Sunday morning, and especially later in the day Sunday. Taking a look at skycast, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., we see those storms out in western Nebraska kind of fall apart, according to this Skycast model. Storms off to the north of the viewing area will continue overnight tonight. Now, watch what happens as early as 1 to 2 a.m. in northeastern Nebraska. We could see storms develop in that region. Those move southeast closer to the capital city, really right on the fringe, northeastern Lincoln, northeastern Lancaster County, just to the east, really, of the capital city. That continues into Sunday morning. Another round of showers and storms possible. That is one scenario. That could kill the instability as we get into Sunday afternoon. The more likely you see rain and clouds in the morning, your storm potential decreases later in the day. Now, as we go through 7 p.m., we're pretty much quiet across the state. We're seeing showers and storms in northeastern Kansas. That's not where they saw rain in the morning. That's why they're getting the potential development and evolution. That continues through 10 p.m. Maybe we see showers and storms into central, south central, eastern, even western Nebraska overnight Monday and into very early Monday morning. We're talking 1 to 4, maybe even 5 a.m. And then things quiet down around sunrise on Monday and pretty much quiet into Monday afternoon. Now, that's one scenario. Let's take a look at another scenario. We have those storms out to the west. They continue late into this evening, potentially into the overnight hours. Shower and storms still pretty much likely north of the viewing area into South Dakota. That seems more like a guarantee at this point. But notice that overnight tonight, we don't see any evolution in eastern Nebraska. So now we're talking about sunshine in the morning. I know it looks like there's a little bit of cloud cover there, but sunshine in the morning. Still can't rule out showers and storms in the morning hours between 7 and noon. But you're pretty much quiet for the first half of the day. Now you get into the second half of the day, as early as 5, 6, 7 p.m. Notice those storms firing up north of Lincoln, right around Omaha, getting closer to the capital city, closer to 10 p.m., really starting to just kind of blow up between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m., and then exiting the area as we get between 1 and 4 a.m. So really going to determine what scenario happens. It looks like the Storm Prediction Center is going with the second Skycast model as more of an evolution. That kind of shows that slight risk of severe weather, but I do want to note that both scenarios are certainly possible at this point. What happens overnight tonight will certainly impact what happens tomorrow. So if you wake up tomorrow morning and it's sunny outside, you're not seeing rain, I would be a little bit more concerned for tomorrow afternoon and especially into tomorrow evening. If you do see rain in the morning, could see some severe thunderstorms in the morning. Probably not as strong what happens later in the day. Maybe doesn't kill the opportunity later in the day, but certainly lowers the chance compared to this Skycast model. So just want to reiterate, showers and storms are possible overnight tonight and into Sunday morning. And then another round of severe weather, showers and storms, possible Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and into the overnight hours on Sunday. A lot to be determined. Really is going to happen. What happens really is going to be impacted by what happens in the next 12 hours. But moving on to our flash flooding risk, we've seen a lot of rain in central Nebraska this week, record rainfall in Grand Island. But the flash flooding threat tonight, near zero across the state, maybe some isolated flash flooding across northern and northwestern Nebraska. Unfortunately, with storms possible in central and eastern Nebraska on Sunday, isolated flash flooding is possible. Probably won't take all that much rain to really begin to bring those rivers rising again and really impact the flooding, especially out to the west. But just want to note that isolated flash flooding possible Sunday. No flash flooding threat Monday, no flash flooding threat as we get into the day on Tuesday. Then that will return, at least isolated in nature possibility-wise, in northeastern Nebraska on Wednesday. But really, I think Sunday is the main risk for if we could see flash flooding or not. So we're going to take a look now at the precipitation potential. How much rainfall could we see? I mean, what do the numbers translate to basically over the next 3 days? Waiting for the colors to pop up here. But I think the farther east you go, there we are, the greater the risk is. So southeastern Nebraska, we're talking about the possibility of an inch, maybe over an inch of rain. You move farther to the northwest and even farther to the south, the rainfall potential numbers do go down quite a bit. So we're now talking about a quarter to maybe half an inch across the rest of the state. So closer to the capital city, an inch of rain possibly, and then off to the northwest and even to the southwest, we're talking about lesser amounts. That's the potential. Over the next 7 days, notice that the map really doesn't change all that much. Eastern Nebraska is starting to see a little bit more blue pop out, maybe, but I think the next 3 days really, that's going to be the next 1 to 2 days for the most part, because Monday really not expecting much in terms of rain, going to determine our rainfall potential, basically. What happens with these storms? Do we see a lot of storms fire up in eastern Nebraska? Do we see little storms fire up in eastern Nebraska? But I think most of this upcoming week will be dry, and then we'll be watching out for later in the week, but more on that coming up. So taking a look at both SkyCast models again, I just can't reiterate this enough. A lot of uncertainty as we head into Sunday, both in the morning and into the overnight hours. So SkyCast, one SkyCast model kills all the storms out to the west by 11 p.m. That's certainly a possibility. I think these storms are really driven by daytime heating, and as we cool off, as the sun goes down, the storms are very well good possibility they could die off by midnight. But overnight tonight, northeastern Nebraska, those storms dive off to the far southeast. Do they impact the capital city? It's going to be very close, so just make sure to be weather aware, have ways to receive warnings overnight tonight and into Sunday morning, because one round of storms move through, another round of storms move through. Will those be severe? They might just be regular showers and thunderstorms, gusty winds, large hail, certainly a possibility. Not expecting tornadoes once again, but now that's really closer to 11 a.m. and noon that those storms are exiting. So now we get into Sunday afternoon, and that, again, that kind of kills this the instability. The air is not as unstable anymore as projected to be. Now it's a little bit more stable. We saw some rain-cooled air move into the region. So you get into Sunday evening now. Now we're watching out for storms south of the state of Nebraska into northern Kansas, and then maybe showers and storms overnight and into 1 to 4 or 5 a.m. closer to Lincoln. So certainly by the time we wake up Monday morning, we should be quieting down. Can't rule out a morning shower or storm. A lot more sunshine on Monday. Now we look at another SkyCast model Saturday night into Sunday. Line of showers and storms off to the west. That's what we're seeing right now. So this is lining up a little bit closer to what we're seeing at least over the next few hours. Then we go into the overnight period. We don't see those storms dive farther to the south. We see maybe some showers and storms in southeastern Nebraska Sunday morning. Don't even want to rule that out. That's occurring on both SkyCast models, and certainly a little bit of cloud cover. That's going to determine what happens too. But 3, 4, or 5 p.m., showers and storms start to fire up. Then you see a little bit more. Then the coverage really begins to blow up around 10 p.m. So it's really later in the day for this weather alert day, what happens Sunday and Sunday evening. And then those storms really begin to expand and blow up even further late Sunday into early Monday morning. And then we're pretty quiet Monday into Monday afternoon. Now, let's move on to our temperatures, because that was a lot about SkyCast. Certainly severe weather possibility tonight and through Sunday night and even into Monday morning. But temperature-wise, we'll be in the 50s, 60s, and 70s overnight tonight. Then we are talking about 80s and 90s on Sunday. It's going to be really close to if we can get into the 90s, I think, here in Lincoln. That's going to determine whether we see that rain in the morning hours. So we're talking upper 80s from Grand Island to Columbus, even close to Tacoma. 90 in York, but 94 in Lincoln. Again, going to determine on what happens with the cloud cover and the rain, but I think 94 in Lincoln is our projected forecast right now. Certainly cooler off to the north and west. Lows on Monday dropping down to the 50s and 60s. Highs on Monday, these are going to be the coolest across the state, I think, the entire week. We're talking 80s from 83 to 87, 88 degrees. 90s not projected across the state. Tuesday morning, we drop down into the 50s and 60s, right around 60 in Lincoln, so a little bit of a cooler start on Tuesday, so that's a little bit nicer. But then Tuesday afternoon, upper 80s to 90s once again, typical for this time of year. July 1st is on Tuesday, so certainly going to feel like it as we get into Tuesday afternoon. And then mid 60s for the most part Wednesday morning, climbing a little bit more Wednesday afternoon. No widespread warm-ups, though, across the board, because if you take a look at the 7-day forecast, 94 on Sunday, that's our hottest temperature. We could see that again on Thursday. Rain chances, though, Sunday, and I think next Saturday representing our best rain chances, but what happens in 7 days from now certainly subject to change. I think the 4th of July, mainly quiet during the day. We'll have to watch out late Friday evening and into Saturday, but certainly going to be a warm week. Monday again, though, the only day expected to be in the 80s. And as we take a look at the 10-day forecast, no significant warm-ups. It does look like Monday will be the coolest day over the next 10 days, and then either Wednesday or Thursday being the warmest days, but certainly still warm Friday through Tuesday, but now we're talking July 4th through July 8th. Dew point-wise, really dramatically different. That's what's going to change Sunday to Monday. Going to be humid on Sunday, fueling those storms, but Monday and Tuesday, we're talking 50s and 60s, and not even upper 60s, so it's certainly going to be more comfortable heat Monday and Tuesday, and then we'll see those dew points begin to rise up Wednesday and especially into next weekend and even beyond that. Precipitation-wise, I think Sunday, 40 to 50% chance for showers and storms. Really, it's a tricky scenario what happens late tonight and into Sunday, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 20, maybe 30% chance, really 20% or less. Then you get into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, your rain chances go up just a little bit more, and then maybe quieting down Monday and Tuesday, so the 7th and the 8th. Temperature-wise, over the 8 to 14-day outlook, this is now July 6th through July 12th, so the beginning to the middle parts of the month, slightly above average temperatures, maybe a little bit warmer in the northwestern portion of the state. So as our average high now stands at 88 degrees, 90s, certainly a possibility July 6th through July 12th. And then precipitation-wise, slightly above average rainfall. We would love to see green when we see this map. We love to see the higher shades of green. We want the rain. We don't want the rain in some spots because of how much we've gone, but certainly we are still desperate for moisture here in southeastern Nebraska. But I just really want to reiterate once again, severe storms possible tonight. We're seeing those in western Nebraska. And then as we get into Sunday morning, especially though Sunday evening and into the overnight hours, another at least multiple rounds of showers and storms possible once again. So make sure to be weather aware over the next 12 to 24, even the next 36 hours, both for flooding and for severe weather. Good news is the tornado threat near zero. Unfortunately, though, multiple rounds of showers and storms, damaging winds do look to be the main threat, so make sure to stay tuned to 10/11 News at 10. I'll have the latest forecast details. We're going to take a look at some model runs. That'll hopefully help determine what happens as we get into tomorrow morning. It's going to be a really good indicator, I think, if we start to see a little bit more convergence among the models. But as we head into this evening, make sure, once again, stay tuned at 10/11 News at 10. Make sure to have ways to get the information overnight tonight in case there are warnings, and make sure to keep updated with our forecast tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow evening. Make sure to watch us at 10/11 News at 5:30 and 10/11 News at 10 Sunday evening as well. But for now, I wish you all a great evening. Make sure to stay hydrated out there. It's still warm outside, and make sure to be weather aware once again. Have a great night, everyone.